Okay, so we were looking at teamwork and what it takes to be a good member of our team. So next we're going to look at some of the other things as far as ethics, as far as I mentioned to school. Same as when we're working. Make sure we come to school on time, have the necessary tools for learning, and be organized for our learning. We want to make sure we maintain a clean workspace, clean up after ourselves. Don't leave papers and empty water bottles and things around our where we've been sitting. Follow the directions the first time. Use complete heading on our work. Be legible with our writing. Turn in quality work and turn it in on time. And work when you're supposed to be working. And be cooperative and helpful to your classmates. Another part of nursing that we have to talk about is taking care of ourselves. So, one of our biggest things that we're doing in nursing is we're taking care of other people. But to do that, we have to make sure that we're cared for as well. We have to make sure that we're rested and that we learn how to take care of our stress levels. Nursing is a very stressful profession. I mean, you think about all the things that make your regular job that you might have or that you've had in the past make it stressful. Waiting on people that are cranky, having people be rude to you, working shorthanded. Well, those things are going to happen in nursing as well. But in addition to that, we're going to be taking care of diseases that can be dangerous. We're going to be taking care of people that are dying. We're going to see our coworkers get hurt on the job. It adds a whole nother level of stress, way over and above what you might see in some of the jobs. And stress, you have to remember, is very detrimental to our health. 70 to 80% of health-related illnesses are aggravated by stress. And so we have to learn how to take care of ourselves as well as taking care of our residents that we care for. Stress leads to burnout. I can't tell you how many nurses I've seen that go into the profession of nursing because they want to do it so bad. And think of all the time you've invested, all the years of schooling and all that hard work you put into. And many nurses within 3 to 5 years, they decide they don't want to be a nurse anymore because it's so stressful and they feel burnt out already. So we have to learn how to take care of ourselves as well. And one way we can do that is to eat healthy, eat well-balanced meals, eat our fruits and our vegetables. I mean, we're going to be doing a whole entire nutrition section in this class, but we need to make sure we're eating healthy to be healthy. We want to decrease or discontinue our caffeine use. Caffeine is a stimulant and it does generate a stress response in the body. So we want to make sure that we're not aggravating that too much. Okay. It's fine to have a cup of coffee in the morning, but if you're drinking coffee all day long to get yourself through the day, we need to find better ways to do that. Regular exercise. So aerobic exercise, where your body's actually moving, it uses up adrenaline and cortisol. When you have a stress response, your body releases adrenaline. And it does that for back in the caveman days, your fight or flight syndrome. You saw somebody a tiger or a lion was chasing you, you would release adrenaline so you could run faster, so you could move quicker, so you could run or you could fight if you had to. So anytime you have a stress response in your body is releasing adrenaline and cortisol. And exercise, even 30 minutes a day, and it doesn't even have to be really aggressive exercise, can help decrease that adrenaline and that cortisol and decrease that chronic stress that you're having. Relaxation or meditation is very, very helpful. So doing deep breathing exercises, meditating, yoga, listening to music that is comforting to you, just sitting quietly for a few minutes, guided imagery where you imagine yourself on a beach with the warm, sunny sand. You're laying on that warm, sunny sand, and you're hearing the ocean waves gently, coming up, and the slight breeze is keeping you from being too hot. I mean, you just imagine yourself in this beautiful place, being completely and totally relaxed, and it's so helpful. And so these are things that we can do to just, when we're having a really busy, really difficult day at the facility, of just taking a 5-minute break and just doing some deep breathing and doing a little bit of guided imagery and just relaxing, it will make a world of difference. Sleep is extremely important. You need regular bedtime routines. You need relaxation techniques before bed. At your age, you need at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. And so you need to plan for these things to keep yourself healthy. So many times students are wonderful about, they get their planners out and they plan all their tests and their study sessions and their homework time and this and that, but they don't ever plan in just relaxation or fun things to do, okay, interjected in that. And you have to make time for yourself too. Otherwise, we're just not as good and helpful to our residents. Leisure time. Take your breaks during the day. Don't just work through your breaks and work through your lunchtime. You need a break. You need a few minutes to decompress throughout the day. You need vacations. When I first became a nurse, I loved nursing, and I would come on to work, and my boss would come up to me and she's like, "Oh, Kelly, we're so shorthanded the next shift. Is there any way you could stay and do a double shift? We just need you so bad." Oh my God, they need me. Of course I can. So I would stay and do a double shift. And then the next day, the same thing would happen. And then my day off, "Oh, couldn't you please come in on your day off? We're just desperate for help and we need you." Oh my God, I think that first few years I worked as a nurse, I was working 70-hour weeks really commonly, and you burn out really quickly. You need your days off. It's okay. When it's your day to work, you are supposed to be there on time and do your job and do it well. But on your days off, and you need to take vacation time, you need to take downtime. You need to take time for you to decompress. Support systems are extremely important. Developing a good support system, relatives, trusted friends, coworkers, that you can share things with, not details about patient care, but just the stress that you're feeling. There's the old saying that a shared problem is a problem halved, and that's true. So you need to develop a support system. Humor is amazing for stress. It relaxes tense muscles. It speeds more oxygen into your system. It lowers your blood pressure. Laughter stimulates the immune system. It is extremely important to good health. And so finding humor in your day, finding ways to interject humor in your life is wonderful. Now, conflict is going to happen at times in nursing, and I wish I could tell you it's not, but it is. You are going to find that conflict will happen at times between you and your patient, potentially, between you and a coworker, between you and a physician. Conflict is part of life. And again, one thing we always have to keep in mind in healthcare is we're taking care of these people. The two most stressful things, the two most very stressful things to a person is finances and health. And so when you're dealing in the situation we are at, we're dealing with when they're in the worst health shape probably that they have because they're at the hospital or they're at the nursing home. And that's also creating financial issues for them as well. So it's a very stressful time for them, and people don't always present well. And the one thing I'm going to tell you is nurses are considered a safe person to lash out at. So when a person's angry and they're frustrated, and it may not even be meant at you, it's not that they're angry with you, they're just angry with the situation they're in. Sometimes they tend to lash out. So learning how to resolve conflict. One of the first things you need to do is you need to define the problem. What is the really true problem of what's going on? Collect as much information about it as you can, and then come up with possible solutions. What are some ways that maybe we could deal with that problem in different ways so maybe it could go better, it could be smoother? Select the best solution and carry it out, and then reevaluate. How did it work? The one thing I'm going to tell you if you're having conflict with a person is you need to talk to the person in a private setting, and you need to do it when you're calm. So you may need to step away. May need to take those deep breaths, do that meditation or guided imagery and calm down, and then try to work with that person. Say, "Hey, can we talk in a private place? Can we talk about what's going on?" And try to come up with a solution. Now, if the person starts getting agitated or aggressive, then we need to stop and you need to walk away. If you can't resolve it yourself, then yes, you're going to need to get your supervisor involved. But initially, We expect you to work out your problems yourself. You're an adult, okay, and you need to learn how to do this. So when you come to me and it's like, oh, so and so is doing this and I'm so upset, it's like, okay, so what do you think you should do about it? What are some possible solutions? How's a good way you can talk to that person and come up with the best solution to solve it? You need to learn how to solve your own problems, and resolving conflict is going to be one of them. Harassment means to trouble, torment, or offend or worry a person by behavior or comments, and it is not legal in the workplace, in any workplace, including healthcare. So you need to be careful of what you're saying and what you're doing. Sometimes people will crack a joke or make a sexual joke, and they think it's funny and they didn't mean it to be inappropriate or to worry someone, but some people take things in different ways. And so you have to remember that not everybody's humor may be the same as yours. And if you are doing something that is offending another person, hopefully the person can just say, hey, what you're doing, I find, I don't care for, please stop, and then stop. And hopefully that takes care of it. But they may just go straight to their supervisor, and then you can have a complaint of harassment against you. It is not legal in the workplace. You can get fired immediately for doing anything that is deemed harassment. So even showing someone pictures, offensive pictures, it can be to a male or a woman. It doesn't have to be sexual. It's still considered harassment and it is illegal. So please make sure you're careful about that. I would hate to see anybody get fired for something that they were doing, a comment they made thinking it was funny, but somebody else took it as in a totally different way or in a totally different tone. So always keep that in mind. So we're going to go ahead and stop here and we will do a little check of our knowledge.